So hopefully today's video is going to be an absolute cracker. I'm going to show you how you can swing the club slower, but actually hit the ball further than ever. Right, so I think most golfers don't hit the ball as far as they'd like. And we all understand that obviously if we can swing the club quicker, the ball's going to go further. But too often, I see this. The golfer's really gone at it, flat out. We can see there 89 mile an hour club head speed, ball speed 107, nearly 108, smash factor at 1.2, launching at 29 degrees and only carrying the ball 135 yards. Now I know probably a lot of you are watching and going, 135 yards with a 7-iron? I hit the ball that far and I definitely don't swing at 89 mile an hour. And that is because even though I've had lots of club head speed there, we saw my smash factor was only 1.2. Now, just to explain smash factor is the efficiency of how we transfer energy from club head to golf ball. The higher the smash, up to a maximum of 1.5 with driver, the more efficient the transfer of energy. Now, what let me down there, and this lets most golfers that I see down, is at impact, the shaft was almost leaning back, adding loft to the shot, which made it go very high and unfortunately not forward enough. Now, you don't see any of the best players in the world like that impact. What you see all the best players in the world like is that shaft leans forward, they're de-lofting the golf club, and less loft delivers more speed. So, like I said at the start, the idea of today's video is I'm going to show you how you can actually swing slower than normal and hit the ball further than ever. And I know that sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Because we all get told swing slower. But we also understand that a lot of the time swinging slower, the ball's going to go shorter and shorter and shorter. So how are we going to work on that? So what I want you to do is, particularly when I look at the golf swing from this angle, a lot of golfers, as they swing back, let that club face rotate and try and get that toe straight to the sky. Unfortunately, I see probably even more of this. As golfers make that nice full backswing, we see that shape of cupping to the wrist, and then on the way down, that club face is wide open. And that in itself is a huge issue because there's only a couple of ways you can square that club face up. The first one is, as I did there, you let the club head overtake the hands to square the club up, or you hang back and again release that club early. Now, I know a lot of you watching will say, I know I want that shaft lean, but if that club face has been open, all of a sudden, that club face is going to point 45 degrees out to the right. And nobody likes seeing one of those. It's not a shank, but it's not much better. And we can see the shot there on TrackMan. 82 mile an hour club head speed, less ball speed because of the glancing blow, and the smash factor under 1. So absolutely don't do that. There might be a whole other video about that. So what I want you to work on, and it might feel that you have to be a little bit shorter in your backswing, which could cost you that little bit of club head speed, but you can also swing slower and get more out of the club. So what I want you to feel is as you swing back, we're going to try and keep the club face looking at where the ball was. So that checkpoint halfway back, we're going to see that leading edge very similar to the spine. As we swing back, instead of the wrist being in a cupped position, it's going to be much more bowed. Now that in itself, for a lot of you, once you get back, you might feel you can only swing back so far. I don't mind that. What you might be doing to get to the top is using that wrist to get extra length in the swing, but it's costing you in efficiency. So first of all, we're going to try the little half swing. Just hit some shots, have some practice swings, get used to how it feels. So like I said, club face looking at the ball, feel that your knuckles are going to be more down to the ground, and then keep those knuckles down into impact. And you can see straight away what a very different impact position that would be. So let's try a couple of practice swings. And this is something I work maybe not as hard on at the moment as I have done in the past, but very much knuckles down, little half swing. And don't mind if they go a little bit left for now. That club face is closed, de-lofted. So we can see a club head speed at 77 mile an hour, ball speed at 106. So we're already getting the ball out as far as the full swing before, and the smash factor at 1.37. But the big change there, we went from 29 degrees of loft to 13. Now, something I'm going to talk about later in the video, potentially that could be a negative. But for now, with 7-iron, that is going to be a massive bonus. So again, let's do a little half swing as a practice swing. That feels good. Let's hit one more half swing. Probably a little bit longer than a half swing there. But again, 78 mile an hour club head speed. Smash factor at 1.36. Just under 106 ball speed, but all of a sudden 142 yards carry. So even with what feels like a half swing, I'm already hitting the ball further than I was swinging at 90 mile an hour before. So now we're going to feel what feels full, still retaining that little feeling of knuckles down, and then on the way through. And let's see. I don't think I'll be as quick as 90 mile an hour. So again, felt a nice solid strike. 83 mile an hour, so 6 mile an hour back. Ball speed at 115.3. Smash at 1.38. And 142. So again, we're picking up yardage. Much more efficient with our delivery. And the majority of the best players in the world, not every player, because every player is a little bit different, but the majority of the best players in the world are retaining more of that feeling of flattening that lead wrist off. So again, let's go full swing. Let's see if we can retain knuckles down. Definitely feels shorter for me at the top of my backswing. And as I turn my body out of the way, knuckles are still down and expecting to see lots less loft. I didn't quite strike that one. So we see club speed still at 84 mile an hour. Ball speed was down a little bit, but my smash factor was still better. So even my miss hit with that new feeling goes as far as the great strike at the start of the session. Right, so let's go one more with 7-iron. So again, that felt nice and solid. 87 mile an hour. Smash not quite as good, but 114 ball speed. Launching at 20 degrees, so 9 degrees less than before, and just under 160 yards carry. So we can see there a massive pickup with 7-iron. Now, I know because I've done a video on this topic in the past, and I had some lovely comments about how successful that had been for golfers. But I did get a lot of comments, which, to be fair, I'm going to address now, is golfers were talking about if with a 7-iron, I'm de-lofting the golf club that much, does that then become an issue when I move on to my longer irons? Well, very possibly, and it might be a case of different equipment, or it might depend how you actually deliver the golf club. So I'm going to switch over onto 5-iron and show you the difference. Right, so 5-iron, 8 degrees less loft in this set. So obviously, if I'm really de-lofting the golf club, that could be an issue. So I'm going to hit a shot, what was a 160 carry before. So for me, this would need to be getting out 180. So same feeling, knuckles down, feels shorter, and retain that feeling through impact. Little pushy one. So obviously my club head speed jumps up because the club's a little bit longer. Smash factor was good, but the carry down there because I didn't square the club face up. So let's go one more with 5-iron. There's the little drawery one. Again, 89 mile an hour club head speed, smash at 1.4, 125 ball speed, 170 carry. So we can see potentially when I'm exaggerating that, the 5-iron not going any further. And what I would say is if your club head speed is on the slower side, that could be an issue with 5-iron. But the benefit of doing it with 7-iron is because it's much stronger, you're getting that ball and then turf contact. So what I would potentially say, if this is something you work on and you really love the feel, but your longer irons you struggle, this is where a more lofted fairway wood could come into play. Right, so 7 wood is something that's gone in my bag lately. I'm not saying it has to be a 7 wood for you, but if I'm going to de-loft that golf club, I'm going to strike slightly higher up the face on the wood, which is where there's more loft, and the design of the club head is to get the ball in the air a little bit more. So I still want the same feeling because the golf ball's on the floor, want that low point ahead, want to de-loft the golf club. So that one a little bit out the toe, and we can see more club head speed because of the length of the shaft. Obviously more ball speed, even though the strike wasn't great. And I've turned 7 wood into 9.5 degrees, but all of a sudden 185 carry. Now you can imagine if you're getting that 7-iron out 160, 165, it doesn't matter for me what the club says on it. Clubs need to be in your bag to produce different distances. And as I've improved with this myself personally, this is definitely where 2-iron never gets in my bag anymore. 3-iron currently isn't in the bag because I know something like a 7 wood, being more aggressive with that delivery, I can afford to have less club head speed and still hit the ball further with great technique and the equipment that suits that technique. Right then guys, so you could see there, the key to hitting the ball further is not adding loft to the club, is de-lofting the golf club. And if you can keep those knuckles down more rather than leaving that club face open, even if you swing slower, you're going to present less loft, give more ball speed, make you more efficient, and that's the holy grail, isn't it? Maybe swinging slower, feeling that you've got more control and more distance. Could we ask for any more? So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it. Comment below, I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that hopefully will help your game. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.